Hello, good morning, beautiful people. Just checking that I am live everywhere that I need to be. Hello, everybody who's joining me on Facebook. Thank you today. Hello, everyone who's joining me on Instagram. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you join me for Monday Magic. Now, those of you who haven't joined me before, this show is all about providing motivation, inspiration, and encouragement to take you through your week, through your Monday, through your week ahead, and through your life. I love to come and share the love on Monday morning. So today we have a little bit of a different topic for you today. This is something that I've been sitting with for a good couple of weeks, and I just feel that now is the time where I need to come and speak openly about how to practice self-care when you get triggered. Now, as I said, I've been sitting on this for a couple of weeks now. And I know that there is a lot of stuff happening in the world, particularly in Australia at the moment, where so many women, so many of us are getting triggered on a daily basis by things that are happening around the world. Now, and again, particularly here in Australia, there are things going on in the news that, I know that we are getting triggered about, and I'll talk about that in a second. So last week was International Women's Day, last Monday. Awesome. Love that day, one of my favourite days of the year. And today, all over Australia, we actually have women's marches for justice going on, which I'm so proud of, my fellow women out there doing this for each other. But I'm going to say, this in itself, these marches in themselves, these are things that could very well be causing triggers for some women out there. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how to cope with these triggers when they happen. Now, I myself personally, and maybe the reason this is, I'm so bloody passionate about this, is that I have been getting triggered lately. And as someone who has done the work, who has recovered and overcome from mental illnesses, PTSD, anxiety, depression, I've overcome mistreatment from multiple people in my life, abusive people, an abusive ex-boyfriend, bullying in the workplace, sexual harassment by my boss. These are things that I have overcome. But I'm still getting triggered. So I feel that as someone who has recovered from this and someone who is able to speak up, that it's my mission, and more importantly, it's more than my mission, it is my passion to come here and talk to you about how you can look after yourself in these circumstances. I'm here to support all of you who may be struggling at this time. Every single one of you. And not only this time, but any time really. Okay. So a few weeks ago, as I said, there was a lot of stuff here in Australia in particular unfolding in the news. And I was surprised at myself at how triggered I got by stuff that was going on, right? And again, this is stuff that, as I said, I have recovered from. So I was quite surprised when I was surprised about my own reaction that I had. Okay. But here's the thing though, even though I have recovered and I've proudly recovered, it doesn't mean that the memories have gone away. The emotions associated with those memories, they're maybe a lot lesser than they were as time goes on. But there's still some quite rawness there. And, emotions rise up. Of course they absolutely do rise up. And I see this happening for a lot of us around the world at the moment. And I had the other day, I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, but I had emotions rise up inside me. I had made the mistake of putting the news on first thing in the morning, and some stuff came out in the news, and I'm only going to mention it once here because I don't want to be the cause of triggers, right? There were some rape allegations in the news, and it just triggered me all over again. But this time, when I got triggered, I got so angry and so righteously indignant that I actually came live. I did a live on Facebook, and I shared a very, very raw and powerful message. So I was able at that stage to take my feelings and use them to help other people. Now, I recognize here that, you know, even though I was able to do that, I know that there are so many more women out there who are at that point of being triggered. And many of you, you know, when you do get triggered by the events and circumstances or whatever happened, you may not be in a place where you can feel like you can look after yourselves, let alone speak up. And you are the beautiful women that I want to speak to today. This is my heartfelt message to you all today, is that this is for you. So what I want to do today is I want to take you through some really simple but really powerful strategies that you can use when you get triggered. Okay, for whatever reason it might be, when those emotions come up with you, for whatever reason it might be, these are, you know, actionable, powerful strategies that you can take away and use. The first one I want to talk about, and this is by far the most important one, is I want you to all remember that you are not alone. Remember that you are not alone. For every one of us out there struggling and suffering at the moment, there are 10 more of us who have been through something similar, who are out there, and we are willing and we are able and we want to walk alongside you, to hold your hand and to be there for you through all of that rough stuff. So I want you to remember that you are not alone. If you get to this point, you know, if you are in a very emotional space at the moment, I want you to let someone know how you're feeling. Talk it out with them if you need to. If you feel that you need to have a good cry or get emotional around them, cry on their shoulder, this is what we are here for. As I said, for every one of you out there who is suffering, there are 10 more of us out there who are willing to wrap our arms around you and share the love with you. I have had so many people in the last couple of weeks alone reach out to me for this very reason. You know, when they have been getting triggered, so many women reach out to me. And, you know, I am so privileged that I'm able to do this and able to share the love with them and to hold them, to hug them, even if it's virtually. You know, but I recognize that I need to be here. This is my gift. This is my mission. I need to be here for you beautiful women who might be in that space where you need that, you know, that extra bit of love and that support, especially if you are feeling alone. You are not alone. I can't say that enough, and I'll continue to say it. I also know that, you know, it's not an easy thing to reach out for help and guidance when you need it. But there's absolutely no shame in doing so when you need to. There's no shame in it. And it is so important that when you do get to this point of needing that help, that you do reach out, you know, that you allow us to be here to help you, to lift you up, you know, to walk alongside you. For me, oh my God, for me, there have been so many times in my life when I have needed my girls around me. You can ask any of my friends, both the people I've met virtually in the last couple of years, and, you know, the people in my life physically in Adelaide. They will tell you that when I need, you know, that when I've needed my girls around me, I have reached out. And no, it hasn't been an easy thing to do, but I've known that these people have been there for me. But what I'm finding now, and what I'm kind of loving now, is that I'm finding, even in my own struggles now, even though, you know, like I said, I was triggered the other day, but I'm still able now, because I have gotten stronger along my own walk. I'm here now to be able to walk alongside these women now, these people, in times when they might need support and they might need assistance. So I am here for you, beautiful people. Now, something that happened to me, so when I did get triggered the other day, right, did I have a busy day ahead of me. I had a full day ahead of me, 12 hours or so online. I was helping, I was a leader in an event, so I had to be present that day. And this was after I did that very powerful Facebook Live. I knew that I had to be present. You know, there were certain things I had to do. It was my responsibility. But I also knew that I really needed to reach out and let someone know how I was that day. So, you know, thankfully it was a beautiful, supportive team. I did reach out, you know, and it wasn't at that day that I necessarily needed the help. I needed, how do I put this? I reached out to them to let them know how I was feeling. I told them I'm feeling a little bit fragile today. I was teary all that day. I was very emotional. And I told them, I said, I'm very emotional today. So if I need your support, can you just be there for me? And they were brilliant. But because I was brave enough to reach out to them and let them know, I mean, I didn't tell them the details, but I was brave enough to reach out to them and let them know how I was. They were in turn able to be there for me as I needed them to be for me. So again, and I can't repeat this enough, if you are getting triggered by things, whatever it is, you are not alone. There are so many of us out there available to you to walk alongside you and be with you, be there for you and help you. Now, I just mentioned emotions, right? And I said there are a lot of emotions for me that I went through the other day, and there are, you know, I get triggered regularly. It's not just that one time. There are other times that I get triggered too, and I see other ladies getting triggered. And this is something that, you know, you can ask any of the girls who work with me in my Phoenix Method course. They will tell you one thing that I say very often is allow yourself to feel through the emotions that you're having. Don't block them. Now, this can be something that I think as women we tend to do a lot. We just tend to block, you know, kind of shut down and say, I can't feel that, I haven't got time, I've got things to do. Don't block the emotions. Allow yourself to feel them, all right? And then what's going to happen is the next time that you might be triggered, so next time something might come up for you, that emotion, even though it's still there, because you've allowed yourself to feel through it once, it might not affect you on such a huge level the next time, right? So, you know, like I said the other day, I was that particular day, I was so teary. Now, yes, I had to go to work. Yes, I had to show up and present, you know, and be present for the women that I was in charge of, that I was helping to guide along the way. But that didn't stop me from being emotional. So what I did allow myself to do was, and I, you know, I'm hoping and I'm thinking that any women who were with me on that particular day wouldn't have known. But during the breaks, I was having a good cry. I was feeling through that emotion. I was having a good cry. I was letting the anger out, you know. I went for a walk. You know, while having a cry, but then, you know, I would let it happen until I felt that release. So I was allowing myself to feel through that emotion. And each time I did that, you know, the emotion, how do I put it? It got less and less and less. So, and I felt that it was easier to cope with as the day went on. So don't ignore the emotions. They're there for a reason. For, you know, our body is clearly letting us know that we need to express these emotions. And again, you ask any of my Phoenix Method ladies, they will tell you this. I say it all the time. Feel through the emotions, because there's a reason that our body is expressing them and our mind is expressing them. So if the news, if things that you are watching, if things that you are seeing, if things that are being put in front of you, if they are affecting you, if you can, take them off the board, if you can, right? The other day, my mistake was that I turned the news on first thing in the morning, something that I don't often do anymore. I've actually, hello, beautiful Kaz. How are you, beautiful? I see you're watching. You know, something that I don't often do anymore is watch the news in the morning. This particular morning, I turned the news on. I saw what was on the news. Wow, man, emotional city, right? But on a regular basis, I deliberately don't put the news on in the morning, because I find that, you know, it is also negatively geared. There's very little positivity in the news in the morning, in particular, that if you listen to it, it can set you up in a negative space for the rest of the day. When I was working in my day job, you know, working in an office environment a few years ago, I used to actually, you know, put the news on in the morning. I'd put the TV on, I'd watch it for 10, 20 minutes, then I'd get ready, then I'd drive to work, had the news on in the car, and it was the same things repeating over and over again every 15 minutes, but very rarely was it any positive stuff. So was that really setting me up for positivity for the day? No. So I've taken that out of my day now, because whatever you do first thing in the morning is going to set you up for the rest of your day. So take out that negativity and put in some positivity, right? And I'll talk about that in a minute. The other thing I want to say is throughout the day, you know, if you take away all the distractions that you possibly can that might affect you in negativity, or the things that might even distract you. So turn off your emails. Check them once in the morning. Check them once in the afternoon. I told someone the other day I did this, and they went, "Wow, are you kidding?" And I went, "No, I'm not. I check my emails in the morning, and occasionally I'll check them in the middle of the day, and then I'll check them at the end of the day, because otherwise they can become distractions." Close down websites on your computer, like such as Facebook or such as your social media. Close them down. If they're going to distract you and it's going to bring in negativity to your day, close them down. Ignore them, right? You can shut down, log out of, or block unnecessary sites or apps on your phone for a certain number of hours. If you don't know about them, and this is something I discovered last year through a business colleague, was that there are apps that you can download onto your phone that can block certain apps on your phone for a certain number of hours. And it is brilliant. So one is called Block Site is one. There's another one, App Block, right? There's hundreds of them out there, like they're everywhere. All you need to do is do a search. but you can, you can block these particular apps for a certain number of hours. Now, I do this on a regular basis too. On my phone, I will block social media sites while I'm working. Sometimes I need to go on the social media sites like I am right now because I'm working, but I will block them because, if I'm doing something else that's off of social media, I don't want to see these constant things pop up all the time. So take them out of your consciousness, out of your sight, right? Now, I mentioned this a little bit before. Begin your day with positivity. Oh, so powerful, right? As I said, I used to have the news on at the beginning of the day and it wasn't setting me up in a positive manner at the beginning of the day. So I've stopped doing that. Instead of popping the news on, some things that I will do personally now is I will meditate. I will pray. Things that we've spoken about here on the show before. Meditate, I will pray, I will practice gratitude. Mirror work, again, something my Phoenix Method ladies will tell you that I'm very strong on. Very, very powerful stuff. Mirror work. I like to listen to podcasts. Some other things you can do. You might like to journal. You might like to walk. You might like to hug the kids. Oh, such a powerful, positive thing to do in the morning is hug your kids if you have them. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. This is time when I miss having my kids at home, and it's a bit weird being an empty nester because I don't have my kids here to hug in the morning anymore. But there are things that you can do in the morning to set yourself up in a positive mindset rather than, switching the news on, switching the radio. I don't even, I used to even have the radio on when my alarm went off, and I'd lie there for 10 minutes in the morning and listen to the radio. I don't do that anymore because I don't want that to be the first thing that I hear as soon as my eyes open. I don't want to hear that. So instead, again, as I've said, something that I do on a regular basis in the morning is I practice gratitude in the morning. I will get up out of bed. I will go and do my mirror work. These are things that for me personally set me up in a positive mind frame. Meditation is a huge thing for me. Meditation is something I love to do. There are also the other things that you can do, and again, things that are they might seem really simple, but they're really helpful. Use your essential oils. As I said, you can take a walk, you can ring a friend, whatever you want to do. Call a friend. God, it sounds like a game show, doesn't it? But there are so many other things that you can do in the morning to set yourself up with positivity for the day ahead. And these are things that you don't need to just do in the morning too. I mean, you can take these and use them throughout your day. Of course you can. Absolutely, 100%. The other day when I was feeling emotional, as I said, I had a cry during my break. At one stage, we had quite a long break. It was about an hour. I went for a walk. I put on a podcast, and it was something. It was a very uplifting podcast that I listened to. I went for a walk. I had a cry while I was walking. I was doing all the things though to set myself up in a positive mindset to be able to go back to what I needed to do. Hi, Nikki Hammers. How you going, beautiful lady? So the question that people ask me a lot is they ask me, what happens if we suddenly get triggered by things throughout the day? Like all of a sudden something happens which triggers you. Now, these are what triggers are. They happen suddenly when we least expect them. And I had this happen to me quite a number of months ago now, where I was actually in the shopping centre and I saw someone who looked just like someone from my past life, from like 25, 30 years ago. It was actually 30 years ago. They were their doppelganger, right? And this triggered me. I started to shake. I started to hyperventilate. I was kind of frozen to the spot, and I was surprised at how, you know, it wasn't this person, but it looked just like them. And I was surprised at how powerfully my body and my mind responded. But what I did in this circumstance is I stopped, and this is what I would suggest to you too, is I just stopped. I closed my eyes. I just took a few deep breaths, and I told myself that everything is okay. I prayed because I believe in prayer. And I just stood there for about 5 minutes, just breathing in and breathing out, just breathing through those feelings, telling myself that everything was okay. And when I was able to move, I went and I sat down and I called a friend. I reached out for help. You know, I was very emotional in that circumstance, and I knew that I needed help. So these are some things that you can do, you know, if you do get triggered throughout the day. Pop on some music if you need to. Anything that you need to do to relax yourself. If you get triggered at work and by whatever it is and you need some time out, go and tell your boss or your superior or someone that you just need some space for 5 minutes. This is something that I had to do regularly in the position that I was in when I was working. Mwah, Kaz, you're welcome, beautiful lady. And I'm going to repeat this here again. This is how I'm going to finish today with this. And I can't say this enough. I'm going to finish how I started. If you need help, beautiful ladies, if you need help, reach out for it. We are here. Those of us who get it, those of us who have walked the walk, we love you and we're here for you. I'll say it again. We love you and we are here for you. So I would love, just as a gift to anyone who's watching today, and who, you know, anyone who you might feel that you need to reach out for someone for assistance, I would love to offer you a free confidence booster call. They go for 30 minutes, and I'd love to be able to have a chat with you if you feel that that's something that you may need. So I've opened up 5 spots available this week. And you know what? I think if I get more than 5, I'll probably open up more than 5, because as I said, this is a passion of mine. But you know, 5 free 30-minute free confidence booster calls is, I would love to have you book in. Nothing, my ladies, nothing gives me as much pleasure as helping women in this space. This is what I was put on this earth to do. And I'm so friggin' passionate about it. If you can't tell, I'm really passionate about helping women in this space. So I hope this has helped you today. I've just wanted to really come on. As I said, this has been a really different topic that I would normally speak about, but it was one that I just felt I needed to put out there, and because I just feel so passionate about it. So I'm going to leave you with this, my beautiful ladies. I pray that your week is filled with so much love, so much inspiration and encouragement, and that you have a fantastic week ahead. And remember that I'm here for you, and I love you all. Thank you. Bye. Mwah.